Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the Minuteman Prep YouTube channel. I wanted to give you an update on the Mango Power E. But first of all, my name's Ben. I review a ton of solar generators and other emergency preparedness stuff. And mostly lately it's been solar generators because there's so many great units coming out. Now, one of those units was the Mango Power E, and you may have seen my review of it when I tested it a few weeks ago. And it has amazing solar input. The inverter is great. There are a lot of great features about it. And I wanted to do continual testing on that, so that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. And I found some major flaws. Now, I've been in contact with Mango during this process, figuring out what's going on and how to fix it. So we've got a solution for that. But I want to make sure you're aware of it so that way you know what you're getting into, because it could be a deal breaker for you, or it could just be a sign that this really is the system that you need. So stick around for this quick update on the Mango Power E, because I think you're going to want to know about it. So first thing, some really good news. I've left this unit on for about 3 days. I have not turned it off. And in those 3 days, it has drained from 100% down to 91%. So it's only a 9% loss over 3 days, which means the idle power consumption rate, just to have the system turned on and sitting here, is very low, which is always a good sign. And I'm going to continue to do more tests like that as time goes on, because I am replacing this unit. As I mentioned before in my other video, especially, the solar input is incredible. You can really get the 2000 watt solar input from what it looks like. And I love that because most solar generators fail on the solar input. Now, the main issue that I've been having with this unit is I cannot connect the app to do firmware updates. And there's already a Gen 2. Basically, it was the first production, what came off the line, the very first ones, that first batch, has these issues. Everything else from now on will be second batch and doesn't have these issues. So that's why I have to get it replaced, and Mango is replacing it at no additional cost because they stand by their warranty, which is one thing I really appreciate. Now, it's Friday when I'm filming this, and at 2:45 Mountain Time, which is 4:45 Eastern Time, Mango closed in 15 minutes, and I called their customer service line that's listed on their website. And I talked to a lovely young woman named Victoria. She was able to answer all of my questions. So that was my first thing that I really appreciated, is their customer service is there and they seem to care. I even asked her, hey, what are some of the main issues that the Mango Power E is having? And she spelled them out. So the first thing is the app not connecting. Secondly, some people have experienced solar charging issues, and at first I had that issue with this. It wouldn't let more than about 1200 watts in, but I just disconnected the solar panels and reconnected them, and then it worked perfectly fine. So that wasn't an issue for me. That's worked great for me here on this unit. But the other main issues are that after it reaches 50% on the display here, it would discharge from 100% down to 50% just fine, like you would normally see it going down really slow. And then as soon as it hit 50 and 49, it would start going down 1% about every 10 seconds. I mean, it went from 50% down to 0% in a matter of a couple of minutes. Like crazy. Oh, I can't get this to focus. Come on, focus. There we go. Look at this. This is insane. It hit 50%. And then it ran at 1% for about 5 minutes, running a heavy load. Now, they said that the screen needed to be calibrated by charging it up, and another person who was commenting in my previous video had the same issue. And when they discharged and recharged, that seemed to fix the issue. But for me, that hasn't fixed the issue. Now, when I got my battery here, I went ahead and followed the instructions for connecting it, which is where you turn off the system, connect them together, turn them on at the same time, and so forth. Exactly what it says in the user manual. And the screen went from 100% down to 0%. And mind you, this battery is not fully charged. It is about 75% full. This went all the way down to 0%. And then after a minute, it just went in black and said BMS error, and it wouldn't connect. So I disconnected it, and then it stayed at 0%, turned it off, turned it back on, went back up to 100%. Even after that, disconnecting the battery and turning it back on, I was still getting the BMS error code. Now, it hasn't done that. It seems to have reset, but I could not successfully connect an extra battery to it. And obviously that's a huge red flag, because you have to use their batteries, which is an okay thing. They're very good batteries. But if I can't connect them together to use that expansion, then there's no point in having it. And then I would say the biggest issue that I've had is that this will not run a load, an AC or DC load, for more than an hour. I was testing this unit. I was running a heater in here, and I was running it on high to see how it would perform on a high discharge. And it wouldn't run for more than an hour. Every hour I came in, and I did this for about 3 hours straight, every hour on the hour, it had turned off the AC right here. So I would turn this on and it would just automatically turn off on its own. There's no option to change that. And there are some solar generators that if you're using maybe only 50 watts or less, it will automatically turn off, which is a problem on its own anyway, because you may just be running like a security system or Wi-Fi, who knows. But this, regardless of the load, I then did a low load at about 100 watts, and the same thing, every hour it would turn off on its own. For me, that was a deal breaker. So I wanted to make sure I had solutions to these problems before I made my video because I didn't want to freak anybody out. But the bottom line is, because it's a first production run, because you can't get into the app to update it, you can't fix those things. So they have to go back to the manufacturer and have those pieces swapped out, and then they'll work perfectly fine. But I have been confirmed from 2 different sources from Mango that anyone that orders a new unit, that they will be getting the second run from the production line, which means it won't have these issues. Now, I'm telling you guys this publicly because I want you to know these issues so you're aware of them, but also because when I get my 2 new Power E's and my expansion batteries, I'm gonna run these same tests, and now I've got an actual guide that I follow for all solar generators to test everything about them. And we're gonna just make sure that across the board, everything tests correctly, as well as just how it performs. So make sure you subscribe for that. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate everyone who's emailed and called me asking me questions. I wanted to make sure you guys knew about this. So right now, it may be best to just hold on before you order this and allow me to get my new units and do all the testing. Because I'm gonna do a 120 volt test with just 1 unit, then I'll add a battery and do a test on that, and then I'll put 2 units together and do a test on that, and then 2 units together with 2 expansion batteries, testing that. Then we're doing a ton of testing. And I'll be doing the same testing on all the other solar generators, so that way it's an apples to apples comparison. No one gets a leg up over anyone else just because of any reason. They all get tested fairly. So if you've ordered the Mango, just make sure it's part of the second run and you should be fine. And the customer service at Mango has been excellent so far. Customer service is one of the biggest things that I look at. And there are multiple companies that I very much dislike their customer service, which is why at Powered Portable Solar, we give additional customer service because sometimes these other companies just won't give it to you. So if you need a system, you want a recommendation, shoot me an email to info@poweredportablesolar.com. You can also become a Patreon member and help support me in doing all of this tests and become a contributor there and get direct access to me. So that way you can get all of your questions answered directly through our chat. So thank you so much for being here. Be prepared. See you guys in the next video.